Hi everybody, it's Sarah Cray and I teach watercolor, and today we are doing our Let's Make Art Matter for our Pals with Paws watercolor box. Now, Let's Make Art Matter is essentially our way of sending an art hug to someone who maybe needs it. In your watercolor box, you will find a pre-addressed and pre-stamped postcard, watercolor postcard that we paint on and then drop in the mail. Now, this one is a little bit different. Instead of sending it to a specific person, we are going to think about maybe someone that we know who has maybe experienced the loss of a pet, which is just really heartbreaking. And actually, for me and Michael's here working the cameras.
Hi, everybody.
We're married, and about a year and a half ago, we lost our family dog of 14 years, which was like really sad and heartbreaking. And there was someone in the watercolor community who actually painted our dog and mailed it to me, and it was just so kind and thoughtful. And I realized that, like, if we can connect with each other in the times where we are feeling so heartbroken and sad, we know that like a painted picture is not going to fix whatever we're feeling, but I think it's nice to know that you're just being thought about. And so is that like pet, like she painted Harvey Birdman Danger was his name, and she painted him, and it warmed my heart to know that she was thinking about him and looking at him. And so for this Let's Make Art Matter, we are just going to do kind of a paw print with the floral pattern. That's what I'm going to teach you, but please know that this is your postcard and your painting, so you can change it to whatever you want. You can do something that's meaningful to you or the person, and know that maybe if you don't know someone directly, maybe this is for you. And that's okay, a little something to remember them by. So there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so I have a pencil, I have my paintbrushes, and I have my colors from the box, and I'm just going to go for it, okay? So I'm going to do a paw, lightly sketch out a paw print. So essentially, it's kind of like a triangle that's a little bit rounded, like so. And then there are four, they're kind of oval shaped
Toe beans.
toe beans, just like that. Should I do that darker so they can see that better? Now this is very loose, and if you try and go as light as possible, I'm gonna draw this dark so you guys can actually see the marks that I'm making. But watercolor is transparent, so you are totally gonna be able to see these pencil lines through mine, and that's okay. Just like that. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, using my round 2 or your round 6, whatever you want, I'm gonna mix some green with some honey and some deep blue. And I'm going to do little leaves and stems and flowers here, but know that maybe if flowers and leaves are not speaking to you, this is your painting. It actually would be kind of cute to do, like, I don't know, I wonder if you could do like a sunset within the paw.
That'd be super cute.
So I'm kind of just following the outline of the paw, and then I'll start painting my paw itself. And then to get this like purpley color, I'm going to mix a little bit of deep blue with my rose red. It's going to give it like a pink purple. And you can do little flowers. I'm just doing a bunch of different ones. And the biggest thing to remember is just to kind of fill in the space and not to overthink it. So the nice thing about doing a lot in a small space is that we just kind of want to fill it up, and then that way, like, your eye doesn't catch just one area. You know what I mean? So it gives you a little bit more freedom of what you can paint and if you mess up, because like people aren't going to be looking that closely when there's so much. Now, I'm not going to be able to fit as much in this paw as because this is much larger, right, than my little 4x6 card. But I'm just going to do the best I can.
I think you should have faith because anything is possible.
You're doing really good with these paw puns.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I stayed up late last night workshopping them.
Now, for those who were llamas from the very beginning, we used to do lives every single week. And I would say the pun queen was Molly.
Oh my gosh.
She was a guest multiple times, and she had the best puns. Like, she is just so witty. And I loved whenever she said them, and they were just the best.
She's still that way. She's still just like that.
Oh, yeah, it's great. And if you don't have enough room for like a whole flower, you can just do a little flower. I like to do like um, little leaves maybe coming out. You can do yellow for the centers. It's nothing too serious here. We're just doing like this cute little illustration. I do feel like it needs a bit more blue down here, so I'm going to do some, maybe a hint of a blue flower. Put some blue in my leaf here. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on all of the other little paws. I'm trying to think if I were to make this for Harvey. I'm trying to think of what imagery reminds me of him, you know?
Bread.
Bread?
Yeah, because he would eat it and it would make him sick every
Yes.
time. But he loved it.
He did.
Just paws of bread.
Oh,
Baguettes.
gosh.
Or Dove chocolates. Remember when he
Oh
got
my
into this
gosh.
chocolate? We're like, he's gonna die. But
I mean, like, he has lived through many a things. He's just, his stomach,
iron.
iron. And I think that's the fun part of this too, because like as I'm painting this, I'm thinking about his personality. I'm thinking about things that he liked to do. He was our protector, so he was very aware of any kind of sound.
He was tiny, by the way.
And tiny, and would bark to let us know.
Even if it was ghosts, he would bark at them.
He wasn't allowed in our bed. Our dogs aren't allowed in our bed, but whenever we would like go to work and leave the door open, he would hear us coming home and we'd just see him sprinting out of our bedroom.
Like, he definitely was sleeping.
And then we go there, there's like this perfect nest size just like curled up on the edge of our bed. I'm like, Harvey.
Hello.
Okay, we're back. We had a little pause in our tutorial because we had a wonderful family that was actually driving through Missouri on a family trip and decided to make a little detour and stop into Hamilton. And so if you guys happen to be watching this later when this comes out, Eric and Christine, I want to say, it was so fabulous meeting you and your family, and thank you for stopping to say hi. And if I messed up your names, I am so sorry. And yeah, we ready to get back to painting?
Let's do it.
Okay. Birdie really enjoyed the break too, but she was like jumping on those kids. I'm like, Birdie. Okay. So I'm just going to keep filling out the rest of my paw with little flowers. Now, the wonderful thing about flowers and watercolor is I feel like they just go together so well. So you could do just the standard like illustrated flower where it's just kind of a few petals, like 5 petals like this. We're not going for realism here. A nice yellow center. And let's do some stems. But that family that just stopped, I was talking to him and she was telling me that she started watercoloring during COVID, which I'm sure a lot of you did. And she said that it really helped her, like this peaceful moment where she could just stop. Her mind could stop. And I find that that's true, like sometimes people will use meditation or things like that, but sometimes I think painting is its own form of meditation because I'm not in my mind worrying about, tomorrow or, you know, this and this and this. It's just this where all of these worries in my mind just kind of stop just for a few minutes. But really, a few minutes of peace is all we need to just kind of feel grounded again. And so when you're painting this, I want you to be okay with letting go and recognize the benefit of just making marks on a paper. And the worst thing that can happen, the very, very worst thing that can happen, is you take this little piece of paper and you throw it away. That's it. And when you think about that's really all that we have to worry about, that's the worst that can happen in this situation is a piece of paper in the trash. It doesn't seem so scary anymore.
I think a lot of times people worry about wasting their time when they
Yeah.
like get to the end of a painting, but really, if you're like spending the time to do a painting just for yourself, it's not wasted at all, even if the end product isn't great. You know what I mean? The like time spent doing it is positive.
The time spent doing it is positive because every time you go to paint something, even if it doesn't turn out, you learn something. Even if you feel frustrated, all of those things. Honestly, the more mistakes that you make faster, the quicker you learn. And then what you can implement that into your practice easier and you can just like grow faster. We grow faster through the trials and through the mistakes. And I know we don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. That's how it goes. Okay, so I painted all of my little sections. Now, if you want it to feel a little bit more full, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a damp brush and just smear the color around the edges. Now, you might not like that look, and that's okay. I wouldn't be offended at all. This is yours. But sometimes just kind of smearing color around makes it feel a bit more full. And that's it.
Beautiful.
That's our little postcard. So, again, remember that this postcard is an opportunity for you to explore something different than what I'm doing. I like to do a video to give you an idea so it doesn't have to be stressful for you. But if you're thinking about a specific pet or animal or person or, anything, any kind of little painting that you can do to send to somebody else really is helpful. Even small acts put together, you know what I mean? Like can have a large impact. And through the Let's Make Art Matter program, the whole goal is to help people know that they're not alone. That's it. In any way. So you're not alone. Thank you for painting with us. Thank you for taking the time to paint something for somebody else. Thank you for being willing to try something like watercolor and learn something new. It's a very scary thing to do, but we can do hard things, especially when we do it together. Okay, well, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much.